Hi, my name's Christine and my channel is Tanky's Crafty Mom. Tanky is my Chihuahua, which I'm sure you'll meet him at some point. This is going to be my very first YouTube video, so please, be patient, bear with me, and if you have any constructive criticism, I'm all for it, so I'd appreciate it. Now what we're going to make today is going to be this door hanger. Since Halloween's rapidly approaching, I figured we'd make something real simple that we can hang out on our door, or you can even hang it on your window if you put one of those little sticky things on there. Okay, so what we're going to need today is we're going to need a circle. You can get this at the Dollar Tree. You can order these on Amazon. This one, it measures 11.5 inches. So that gives you an idea. You can go larger. You can just fill it in with stuff or whatever you'd like to do as far as that goes. Then we're going to need our haunted house. And we're going to separate the main body of the house from the bottom. And I've already done that and painted it black. You're going to need some yellow vinyl. You can get this at the Dollar Tree. You're going to want to get these little Happy Halloween signs. Well, it's not really signs, it's a wording. They've got all different ones. They're spooky, just so many different choices. So if you can't find this one, by all means, find the one that you like better or one that you'll think will substitute okay for that. You're going to need some ghosts. These just happen to be the ones I got last year that were in a package of ghosts and pumpkins. And then these cute little bats. Do you see that? They have these at the Dollar Tree this year. They come on it's kind of like a toothpick. And then the bat's already black. You don't have to paint it. So what I've gone and done already is I've painted the circle. Pick any lavender you like. It doesn't matter. Whatever you like is what you should have. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the, did you notice that lost there for a minute? That we call a senior moment. So I'm going to take the vinyl and I'm going to adhere it behind the house. And that way it'll give you that yellow look, like the lights are on. And what you're going to do is when you put this down to cut the vinyl out, make sure that you mirror image it. Because if you trace it down one way and you flip it over, it's not going to fit. So trace it upside down to how you actually are going to put it on the backing, and that should give you the look you want. Okay, so I'm going to lower this down a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. That's so much better. And then pick out your favorite kind of glue. The Aleene's. In my case, I like this. It's called Tombow. This is a really good glue. It's a little more expensive than the Aleene's, but I've always used it and really like it. I use the Aleene's too, don't get me wrong. And then you're just going to glue this on the back. Now when you cut this out, make sure, when I say cut this out, I'm talking about the vinyl. Make sure that you cut it smaller than you've traced it, because you don't need it to fit exact. That's right, you don't want it to fit exact. And then go ahead and put your vinyl down. You don't have to take the stickiness off the back unless you want to. You sure can if you want to. Probably would help it stick down, actually. I mean, that's something we can definitely give a try to together. Never thought to do that, actually. I like to put some hot glue on the wood and then just stick it onto the circle. Okay, so make sure you go ahead and you dry or paint this black. And what I like to do is I like to dry brush some dark blue into the black. It just gives it some dimension. Let me grab that because, of course, I forgot it. Let's see. Yeah, a navy blue works really good. This is a Delta Ceramic Coat. It's a navy blue. You can get that at Hobby Lobby or pretty much anywhere that carries the paints. If I can get it open, huh? Oh, what a mess I just made. It's all right. We'll just call it a happy accident like Bob Ross does. That man was brilliant. So you just want to dab your brush in the blue paint. You don't want to load it super heavy, okay? And then just take it and just lightly brush it. You don't even have to see it really strong, because when you look at it with the light shining on it, you're going to see it really well, okay? I'm just kind of scrubbing it just with this really dry brush. It's one of those hard bristle brushes. You can use any type of hard bristle brush. Say that 3 times fast. And that will give you the effect. And you don't do it all over. You just, can you see that? There you go. See how I've just kind of whooshed it around? And that gives you a little more depth. There we are. I'm going to take my hot glue gun. I'm going to put the hot glue on the actual wood, not the paper, because the paper wants to peel up a little bit, and this will help hold it all in place. And then you, of course, can put some on there. It's not going to hurt it. And then place it where it looks good to you. As you can see, doesn't have to be exact. If you like it in the middle versus on the side, then put it in the middle. That's okay. It's your creation. Because once you turn this video off, nobody's going to know what mine looked like. They're just going to see yours. Okay. Got a little piece of that house that tried to break off, so I wanted to glue that back down. There we go. Oops. I have no music. I have not figured any of that out yet. I'm still just trying to figure out what's what in the world of YouTube. Now, the Happy Halloween, I painted that with the Apple Barrel Crisp Green. And then the pumpkin, find your favorite orange. In my case, I used the apricot, and then I just brushed a little bit of the outrageous orange over the apricot on the pumpkin while it was still wet. If that's something you need me to actually show you, please let me know, and I'll just do a short tutorial and throw one together, kind of like I did this little mug. Okay? Now, if you make mistakes with the paint, don't worry about it, because chances are you're going to cover it up anyway. Or if you mess up the door like I just did, you'll just cover it with something else. Okay, now we're just going to glue on the Happy Halloween, and I'm using hot glue for this. Just kind of go around it. Doesn't have to be a bunch, just key points, because you're going to want it to stay down. This is super hot glue. It's one of those Sure Bonder glue guns. So be very, very careful if you're using this. You do not want to see that steam coming off of that. That will burn and blister you. And then you just go ahead. I have this just slightly at an angle, very slight angle, and I'm just gluing it right on. I mean, look how fast this is coming together. Once you get these all painted, just throw them on there, and they come together so cute and so fast. Oh, let's see. Got a little bit of yellow showing, so I'm just going to trim that off real quick with this little razor. This is one of the best tools I've ever had. I use this thing so often, not only to cut wood, but to get that thin wood if you're trying to make it smaller or make it bend so you can take it off. But to trim up when you make a mistake, if you do it wrong. There, that looks fine. Now what I've done is I've got these little sticks. You see those? They're just a bunch of little sticks that I painted gray. And how I got those was I had the big thumb compressor, and I just took some scissors and cut it in half. And these cut really easy. Just put a little crack there and it just comes apart. You don't want them super thick. Can you see that? You don't want it super thick because these are going to be shutters for the windows. So you just, once you start cutting at the bottom, it just slices so easy. Then you're going to paint those gray. Do a little dry brushing on top of them, or just throw a little bit of the white paint in there, or you can mix your gray into the white. That'll give you a little lighter color, and just brush over it. There we go. Let me show you how I did that real quick. I just got this dark gray here. It's the pewter gray from Apple Barrel. And then I've got this Apple Barrel white. My craft room is very crowded. That's why you hear crashing every time I move. Okay. So just a regular paintbrush. Going to get some gray paint on it. The pewter gray that we just looked at. Brush it onto those little sticks. So sorry, it's hard for you guys to see. I want to get a better camera setup as I go along. Put some white paint and dab it, and then just brush over where you've done the pewter, and you're going to get that same look I've got. Hopefully. If you wanted a little more gray or a little more white, you just go right ahead and add that color to it. Makes it way cute, and it individualizes it, because none are going to be exactly alike when you're dabbing different depths of color into the brush, either the black or the gray. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Tombow glue, and I'm going to add the little shutters, the pieces of wood they've put across the windows to keep people from breaking into the haunted house. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just a couple dabs of glue. Nothing has to be exact because it's your haunted house. Nobody's going to think that you have to have the exact same length of shutters on every window, because that would just be wrong. When I did the original there that you're looking at, I actually used hot glue to put them on instead of this Tombow glue. But I didn't want you guys burning yourselves like I did. So use your leads, or use those little paddles you buy at the dollar store, those little purple things. What are they called? Can't think of what they're called. You know what I'm talking about, though, if you do a lot of hot glue. They have them at the dollar store. Silicone, that's it. Just put that silicone over your fingers and dab away. And this Tombow glue dries super fast. I get it at Michael's. I don't know if Joann's has it or not. Probably. If so, make sure you use your coupon. Now when you're putting on these shutters, make sure that you're angling them different ways. Don't just do them straight, because if you do that, it's going to kind of ruin the effect of what you're going for here. There we go. I think I'm going to use the hot glue just simply because we'd have to wait for this other to dry forever. So I'm just going to throw a little hot glue on these. Very careful, my friends. You do not want to hurt yourself. Boy. And you know, it never hurts when you're working with hot glue to have a little bowl of cold water nearby in case you do get it on you. It'll help stop that burn. You just stick your finger in there and it'll harden that glue and stop that burning, whereas otherwise it'll just keep burning for a few minutes. I just think these are so cute, and they're so fast to do. They're mainly just base coating and gluing. And the effect is just so precious. I'm making one of these for each of my daughter-in-laws to put wherever they like, whether it be on a door or a window or even in the kids' room. The kids love to have these hanging on their doors. It just makes them special. You know, they've got this Halloween decoration. So I have a little granddaughter and 2 grandsons and a granddaughter on the way. So what I say, senior moment. I have them quite frequently anymore. I mean, what do you do, right? Sorry if I'm very focused on this, and I should be interacting with you guys and just laughing and having a good time. That's why I'm doing YouTube. I just want to laugh and have fun because I don't have a lot of crafters out here where I live. Out here where I live, I'm in the country, and there's just not a lot of people out in this area that craft. Now, if you find when you're doing this and your shutters, you don't have enough shutters, like right here, I'm a little short on shutters, just throw a couple together real quick, paint them, and you'll have them. The ones I cut for us, there we go. And then again, you just take the gray. So I've got gray paint right here. And then you just take a little bit of the white. I could find where it went. There it is. Yeah. Put a little gray on your brush, and then you just dab it just a little bit in the white. And then rub it on the paper. That's going to give you a lighter tone, so it'll look like it's 2 tones of color versus just the gray. I like to just do the gray first, and then I dab it into the white, and then just brush it in while it's still wet. Doesn't hurt it. You get a lot of good variations when you go into wet paint with another wet paint. I'm going to do a boo for us, and you're going to do a lot of blending this way where you do the one color, like so, dab it into another, which is white in this case, and then dab it a couple times on the paper and go over it. If it becomes too white, just add some more gray to it. There's no rules in painting. And the nice thing is if you mess it up, you can paint over it. You're not stuck with whatever it was you messed up, because paint can be covered. That's what you got to remember. There's no such thing as perfection with paint. It's going to do what it wants to do no matter how good you are. So now just quickly got a couple more. Blob them on there. Do you like that blobbing on there? Just cut those with your scissors. You can paint them as one piece after you've separated them from the main thumb depressor. I would suggest painting them after you get them off the thumb depressor. The reason being is the sides need to be done too. And if you do them as a paint them as a tongue depressor and then try to cut them and put them on, it doesn't work because they've got the sides showing. So you're still going to have to get paint on your fingers and do them again. So go ahead and just cut them and paint them. That's all you got to do. It's pretty simple. See, that one's needs a little more white. That one needs a little more gray. And I promise to get overhead looks as soon as I can so we can have you see this a little better. I'm hoping you're getting the gist of it, though. I know for the most part, it's just going to be friends and family watching this. But you never know what YouTube friends are going to come out and see all this stuff. Ouch! See, that just ouched. There. So that's done. It's not exactly the same as the other one, but it's still pretty cute. I like it. My granddaughters will like it and all that. Okay. And the nice thing is as well, if you make a mistake, you can go over it and paint it and you'll never know it was there. Now what I want to do is add the bats. So what I did is you just take this bat that's on the toothpick and cut it off. There you go. That's all you have to do. And you can touch up the bottom with black or whatever you happen to have on hand. So I'm just going to put a bead of black on these bats and just kind of fit them wherever I like them. Because no two signs are going to be exactly the same. In this case, like I have the word a little different, so I have to make sure that the bats are going to be flying correctly for where everything's spaced. You can always just take a marker. See how it's a little white on the bottom there where I cut it? Just take the black marker and cover it up. Rather than pull out the black paint. These markers are great. I suggest having them in your craft room. A big one and a small one, and they make life a lot easier. Okay. Putting those little bats there. Gonna take my little ghosts. I think what I'm going to do with the ghosts is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to accent around the edge. Now you can accent around the edge with a brown paint or a black paint. I like to use this distress ink. I use this on almost everything, the same one. It's from Tim Holt, and it really makes crafting go to the next level because you can control it a little better of what you're doing. See, and I'm just kind of going around the ghost, accenting his little arms and his head, and then you go from this to this. It just kind of makes it next level. If that's something you don't like, then, you know, find, some people like to do little dashes around them. And I did try doing that, but I didn't have a small enough pen, a black pen. You could use a brush by all means and see if you like it. If you don't like it, do what I did and just paint over it. That's what I did, because it just didn't look good when I did it to the other one. This one here I painted over. And then I'll accent him later. Ooh. Oh, they're so cute. Look how cute that's coming together, you guys. You can put that over there. So, got him where he's just kind of like coming out of the house. See how fast? Ah, I forgot to glue him. I was going to say, see how fast that's come together, but might need to glue it to make it stay. There we are. Now, there we go. Okay. Now what I did down here, as you can see, we've got some black down there. It's coming out the door. Then you got your cemetery markers. You can do cemetery markers. You can do pumpkins. I was thinking on this one I would do pumpkins. But you just come out and you just kind of flow down and come around. Because then you do it here. See how I did that? You just kind of wing it. There's nothing right or wrong. Just kind of wing it. Okay. And then we'll paint that black. There we are. Got it? See there? There. Okay. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I forgot the black. I use that on everything at this time of year. Just grab you a brush. Doesn't matter which one. Whatever suits the size for however big you want your path to be. See what I'm doing there? Just coming down from the path. Following the line I did. It's not exact because it wasn't exact when I did it. It was just kind of a whoosh. Leave it a little bit flat, but with little bumps. So when you put your cemetery markers or your pumpkins, you're going to have a place to sit them. And I just brought this down over here like this. You could do some brown here and over here, definitely. That would really accent it, make it look really cute too. But because this is a smaller piece, I'm just doing the black. I actually have a larger piece I was going to do for us all maybe tomorrow or the day after. This one was just kind of, you know, I've been going to do this video for over a month. I've just been so scared to do it. I finally just had to do it. I don't get scared very easy, but I was definitely intimidated about saying hello to the world on YouTube. Just being a little bit of a chicken liver. Just touching up where I broke that roof. Anything you see that you might have messed up, just go in and touch it up. In my case, I just had some white for my fingers on there, and I want to make sure I don't get rid of the blue. Okay. I've got water out of sight there that I'm putting my brushes in. Okay. There we go. Now what I've done on this one is I've accented the Happy Halloween. See how I've done that? I've just taken a white marker and just in the straight parts and around the curves, just lightly gone around it and accented it with white. And then I have put little dashes with the pumpkin. And then the stem is brown. And it really, really just makes a difference. Okay, let's get this out of the way. And I'm just taking the marker. And I'm just going to do the little dashes around the pumpkin in black. And you can use a bolder tip like I'm doing, or you can use a more narrow tipped one. I just didn't have my narrow one with me. I prefer the narrow one, but it still turned out way cute, and it is more noticeable. So, I mean, there's that to be said as well. Okay, and then just take some string or ribbon and attach it to the back with your hot glue gun. Or in this case, this one has the holes, because I got this one from the dollar store. And you can just put your string through here and hang it on the door. And then for your headstones, I've got the smaller tongue depressor. Just going to cut this one. And I'm going to cut the other side. And I would do this in the beginning and use the sticks for the cross as well as the fence posts. And see, I just did the same cutting method we did before to make the cross. I'm just cutting that. I just think these are so cute. Let's see, I think I did the cross about that big. Okay. So you got your two pieces. Just go ahead and make your cross. And then trim it to how you want it once the glue dries. Paint it gray. And put it right on. Oops, there we go. Okay. And then I've got the pewter gray is what I use for the headstones. go. Now you can just do them all gray, or you can get some white paint on your brush and go through to accent it. I'm just kind of doing a haphazard painting on it. I'm letting some of the wood come through. It's hard to see, I apologize. And then the same with the cross. First trim the cross up to how you want it, because those were a little bit long. And then just paint that gray, unless there's another color you like better. You know, it'd be cool. You know, have you ever seen that spray paint that has the stone? You spray it and it gives you that stone look. That's like the coolest stuff. I use it for gravestones outside, but if I were going to, you know, if I had some left over, I would spray these little things with that, and then it gives them a real stone look. Or you can get paints. I don't know if you have ceramic stores where you live, but they have that stone looking paint as well. Okay, it looks like oh, there's the other headstone. It's like I lost a headstone. Okay, and then you can go on Google. It's so funny. Go on Google and look for headstone antidotes, headstone sayings, and they'll give you a bunch of different sayings, and you could so easily put those on one of these. I just put rest in peace and here lies Lou. Whatever comes to you, right? Okay. Now, I don't want to keep you guys all day, so I'm not going to trace the Happy Halloween with the white while I've got you online, but I just want to really thank all of you for watching this video, and I hope you'll stay with me as I improve. You guys have a great Halloween. I'm sure I'll see you again soon. I have a bunch of ideas. Just getting the right camera angles and figuring out how to move things around that's more beneficial for you. So have a good day. Thanks. Crafting Mom is my channel, and I'm Christine, and I'll see y'all soon. Take care now. Thank you.